Hello and welcome! Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of psychology with 7 powerful insights about human behavior that just might change how you see yourself and the people around you. These aren't just fun facts. They're reflections of how our minds really work, often behind the scenes, influencing our choices, relationships, and daily lives. Sometimes the way we operate is a little messy. You know, we humans, we tend to trip over our own feet sometimes, but that's what makes this so interesting. So let's jump right in. You know, in my years on the show, I've heard it all. He's lazy, she's just not motivated. We use these labels, but let me tell you something. Underneath what we call laziness, there's often a whole lot more going on. See, our brains are wired to avoid pain. And I'm not just talking about physical pain, I'm talking about emotional pain. That feeling of being overwhelmed, the fear of failure, the anxiety of not measuring up, that's painful stuff. So when you're putting off that project, or you just can't seem to get going, ask yourself this: what am I really avoiding here? What's the feeling I'm trying to escape? Now, I'm not saying this to give you an excuse to stay stuck, but once you understand what's really driving that laziness, you can start to address it. You can start to unhook from those emotions and take back control. And trust me, that's a whole lot more powerful than just beating yourself up for being lazy. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stayed in a relationship, a job, a situation that you knew was bad for you, but you just couldn't seem to leave? It's a head-scratcher, isn't it? But there's a reason for it, and it all comes down to this. Our brains crave certainty. Even if that certainty means pain, even if it means being miserable, it feels safer than the unknown. The unknown is scary, it's unpredictable, and our brains would rather stick with what they know, even if it hurts. We call this status quo bias, and it's one of the biggest reasons people resist change, even when they know deep down they need it. But here's the thing. Growth, real growth, happens outside of your comfort zone. It happens when you're willing to face that uncertainty and take a chance on yourself. Now, this one might make some of you uncomfortable, but stay with me. We're all taught to be nice, right? It's the golden rule. But sometimes being too nice isn't about kindness at all. It's about control. It's about managing how people see you, about avoiding conflict at all costs, even if it means sacrificing your own needs and boundaries. Think about it. Are you constantly saying yes when you really want to say no? Are you bending over backwards to please others, even if it leaves you feeling resentful and drained? That's not genuine kindness, folks. That's people-pleasing, and it can be just as manipulative as any other form of control. True kindness, genuine kindness, comes from a place of self-respect. It means being able to set boundaries, to speak your truth, even if it ruffles some feathers. Ever heard yourself saying, "I didn't mean to hurt them"? Of course you have, we all have. See, when we mess up, we know our intentions were good. We know we didn't set out to cause harm. But when someone else messes up, we tend to judge them solely on their actions, without taking the time to consider their intent. We call this the fundamental attribution error, and it's a recipe for misunderstandings, conflicts, and broken relationships. The next time someone screws up, before you jump to conclusions, take a step back and ask yourself, what might their intentions have been? Could there be more to the story than I'm seeing? You might be surprised by what you learn, and you might just save yourself a whole lot of unnecessary drama. Chapter 5. Now, this one's a hard truth, but it's a truth nonetheless. Most of us, most of the time, are motivated by self-interest. And you know what? That's okay. It's human nature. We're wired for survival, and part of survival is looking out for ourselves. But here's the thing. Just because we're self-interested doesn't mean we're bad people. It just means we need to be aware of that tendency so we can make conscious choices. We can choose to act with more generosity, more compassion, even when it's not the easiest path. We can choose to put the needs of others before our own, not because we expect something in return, but because it's the right thing to do. And trust me, that kind of conscious kindness, that's what makes a real difference in the world. Chapter 6. Have you ever agreed with something you knew wasn't right just because you didn't want to rock the boat? Have you ever betrayed your own values just to fit in? Yeah, you're not alone. See, that fear of rejection, it's a powerful thing. It's rooted in our primal need for connection, for belonging. But here's the thing, fitting in and belonging are not the same thing. Fitting in is about shrinking yourself, dimming your light to please others. Belonging is about showing up as your authentic self, fully and unapologetically. And while it might feel scary to risk rejection, to speak your truth even when your voice shakes, I can promise you this. The people who are meant for you, the people who truly matter, will love you for who you truly are, not who you pretend to be. So go ahead, be brave. Be you. Chapter 7. Ever notice how when things are going well, when you finally have a moment to breathe, your brain suddenly decides it's time to start overthinking everything? It's like your mind says, "Oh, you're happy, you're content, not on my watch." And suddenly, you're anxious about something that happened a year ago, or you're worrying about a problem that hasn't even happened yet. Here's the deal. Our brains are problem-solving machines. That's what they're designed to do. And when there aren't any real problems to solve, they tend to create their own. But here's the good news. You don't have to believe everything you think. You can learn to observe those thoughts without getting swept away by them. You can practice mindfulness, gratitude, and learn to sit with peace, even when your brain is trying to convince you there's something wrong. So there you have it. 7 deep truths about human behavior. These aren't meant to make you feel judged. They're meant to help you understand yourself and others with more clarity and compassion. Psychology isn't about labeling people. It's about seeing patterns, becoming aware, and maybe making better choices. It's about understanding that we all have our own stories, our own wounds, our own ways of navigating this crazy world. Thanks for listening. If this sparked something in you, share it with someone who might need to hear it too. Until next time, stay curious.